The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Who's this clown?
Not clown, Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark. Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Welcome to episode 81 of Two Fat Guys Pull List. It's a itty bitty one. I mean, comparative to. Yo, what up, Jamie? Or James. Sorry, I call you Jamie. Yeah, it's tiny though. Look at that.
Tiny.
What'd you have? I had 9 books. No, not even. I think I had 8.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
8. Yeah. It was a tiny week. I mean, combined we had like 13. But, you know, it was small. But there were some good books this week. I'd give it a solid, for me personally, and I don't know if it's because of the size or if that there was just decent content this week. But I'd give it a solid A- for me. I thought it was good.
I don't know that I'd go that high. B plus maybe.
The reason why I say that is because I potentially have 3 picks of the week, and I can't do that. So,
well, yeah. There was just some books that really disappointed me this week, so maybe
Okay.
I'm being too reflective on that.
it's possible. But, you know, this is an opinion-based show. You can say whatever you want, however you feel.
Yeah, this is my show.
This is my show. Anyway, let's take care of some business. As always, we talk about our show sponsor, Collected Comics and Games. They have a website called brainycomics.com, if you didn't know. And if you head on over to brainycomics.com, you can sign up for a Two Fat Guys Pull List upgrade or premium upgrade. And you're saying, Jim, what is that? What are you talking about? Well, if you're new to the show, the upgrade essentially is you can go to brainycomics.com, do some shopping, buy some comics, board games, toys, collectibles, all kinds of crazy stuff. And then at the end of your shopping experience, you can type in Two Fat Guys Pull List in your search bar. These upgrades will pop up. You add one of these, or you would add one. You don't add both. You add one of these to your shopping cart, and if you add the first one, you get a mystery exclusive comic cover, so an exclusive cover for $8. Or you can pick the premium upgrade and get 2 covers for $15. Now, why is that such a great deal? Well, if we go over here and we check out the exclusives here on the brainycomics.com homepage, you can see that some of these, you know, the first, like that Moon Knight Black, White, and Blood, $20. You have potential to get that one. The Ghost Rider exclusive, $20. Most of them are 20. Sometimes they range around 15. They can range around 10 or 12, but most of them are between $15 to $20. So you get a really good deal if you decide to do the Two Fat Guys Pull List mystery cover exclusives, essentially. So go ahead on over to brainycomics.com, buy some comics, you know, buy 1 comic, buy 2, buy a mystery bag, buy a graphic novel, some games, some Funko Pops, all of it. But head on over there, and then once you're done, type in the search bar Two Fat Guys Pull List, pick yourself an upgrade, throw it in your cart, pay, and when you get your comics in the mail, you will get a mystery exclusive comic cover, maybe even 2, depending on which one you pick. So that's going to do it for that piece of business. And then as always, we talk about our giveaways that we're doing on this channel. If you are new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, give us a like. We are on the road to 650 subscribers. We are currently, as of this video, I know this number fluctuates a lot from time to time, but as of right now, we're at 611 subscribers. So we are very close to getting to 650. When we hit 650, you know what we're doing. We're giving away this guy. Get the glare up there. First appearance of Elektra as Daredevil. Second printing, 9/8 from CBCS. I can't talk. So we'll be giving that away at 650 subscribers. And then the big boy, the book that keeps on getting hotter and hotter every show we do as weeks pass, as months pass. This 9.8 CBCS graded Amazing Spider-Man #4, the first appearance of Silk. We will be giving it away at 1,000 subscribers. I believe Ron has currently, and I'm sure the number has changed already, but last I checked, a raw copy.
Yeah.
It's about $300. So
Yeah.
I don't even want to know what a 9.8's going for right now, because that's what we're giving away. So the minute that thing gets announced, that book is just going to the moon. So make sure to subscribe, because we need you to subscribe. Anyway, what's going on, chat? Make sure to say hi in the chat. Let us know, if you're watching live, what your pick of the week is this week. And if you're watching this as a past episode and you weren't here to catch it live, let us know down in the comments. What was your pick of the week? What were you looking forward to most? What was maybe your most disappointing book this week too? No, we don't get into the minutia that much. We don't really get into the weeds and ask, hey, what didn't you really like? Like, what was a book that was absolutely horrible? So let us know. Nate. Oh, sneak peek. All right, well, let's jump into it. Let me double check our levels here. I just want to make sure we're good. Yeah, that's good. Desktop audio is good. Just making sure. Hello. What up, Stefan? All right, let's hit it. So first up, we have Lives of Wolverine, issue #5, the final issue in the Lives part of this 10-part mini-series from Benjamin Percy. And I guess the X Office. What's the furthest place from here was your pick of the week? Gotcha. Nate, you suck, dude.
I don't think he's saying it's the pick of the week. He was just saying...
Oh, no, I know it is. I think
we need to talk, Stefan. I need you to help me understand.
You need to be, Stefan, you need to be very engaged when we get to that book, so you can go back and forth with Nate. X Lives. It did meet in the middle. I mean, it quite literally the last page meets up with what's going on in Deaths, but there was no substance to that, right? There was no like, this is why this comic matters. It was more like, and this is happening over here. Oh, you woke up, you saved the day. By the way, you got to go kill yourself because a future version of yourself is a phalanx and he's ripping up the island. That was this book in a nutshell.
You know what? I did read that and I just forgot.
Well, there you go.
Like skimmed it, I just sort of wanted to see because it was the last one, but no, it's I just was like, okay.
No.
It's like, he's like, who's tearing the island apart?
Yeah. Funny enough, it's you. So, outside of the island has the Cerebro sword, which we don't understand the importance of that thing outside of it's the Cerebro helmet as a sword. And Omega Red and Colossus's brother were able to hack it. That's all we know about that thing. So to have any weight in that, I just don't see it. So there's that. Logan realizes again that he cannot change his past, nor should he want to, because that's what makes Logan. And then, the revelation that after he was able to save Xavier and dispel and literally slash in half Omega Red, which I guess he's off the board. They're not going to resurrect him, I would assume. Unless his personality is still in Cerebro, which I guess that's probably going to be the case because you kind of look at the X-Force comic covers and something has infected Krakoa in those covers. So maybe that'll be a lingering storyline within Benjamin Percy's X-Force. Okay. And then the brother has vanished from Russia. I'm sure he'll show back up because Colossus is the great, or has been considered, or has been, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? Damn it.
Prophesized.
Sure. Yeah, that he's the great betrayer.
I think that's a plot line that got dropped, by the way.
I would agree.
I don't think we'll ever see anything about that again.
I think this entire event is like just trying to tie up as much as they can and then move on.
No.
So that's quite literally what X Lives is. I think Deaths is so much better, and it's because it's basically Inferno 2.0. And it remains to be seen if it'll stick the landing. We've got one more issue. We're getting it next week. But Lives, I think, was a very big disappointment. The only thing I can say about Lives that was like 100% awesome and killer was the artwork. Joshua Cassara just killed it. I mean, every panel, every page, the 2-page blowouts, those were awesome. The gore, all of it, coloring amazing. So
I agree.
X Lives had that, but as for moving continuity, it was quite literally, we called it on day one, on issue 1. It was just tying up Benjamin Percy's X-Force and Wolverine run so that they can continue and do new storylines. Like Wolverine, he's going to be babysitting Deadpool. I'm about it, so I'm going to be reading that. X-Force remains to be seen if we're going to get new storylines or if Omega Red is going to be haunting X-Force for a little bit longer. Probably. If I had to make a guess. Probably. So, yeah. I mean, again, it just wasn't... This book I don't think this book needed to exist. I think Deaths really is all we needed. And so I guess there will be a lot of speculation. Like, was it 10 books? Was it, 10 weeks because the X office needed more time to flush out what they're working on, and so they pushed all the books back? Or was this always the plan? I never know. Anyway, that's what this is. I'm disappointed. I know I didn't get to watch Comic Book Herald's video, but he didn't seem very happy about it. He's like, this one, X Lives dropped the ball, whereas he's much more on Deaths, because Deaths is actually moving the plot forward. We're potentially getting into an 11th life of Mora, or maybe not. We're dealing with the Phalanx and the mutants actually joining forces, or maybe not. And we're just moving the island and the idea of the island and Krakoan Nation forward in Deaths. If 5 drops the ball, X-Men's already in trouble. It's in really big trouble if Deaths drops the ball. Like, massive trouble.
Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh. All right, let's talk about Jason Aaron's The Avengers, issue 54.
Why are we still talking about Thor's mom?
Yeah, let's just that's the bad part of this issue. Let's just put that over there, okay? Let's talk about the positives. But the biggest positive is also potentially a con, or a bad thing. We don't get any closure, right? Like we're basically holding up for Avengers Forever. Right? And this big, massive event. Is it Judgment Day? I don't think so. But I don't know. Right? So the multiverse of villains basically got what they wanted. Right? Which is essentially getting rid of all the death clocks. They thought they did. And so that they could move on to the next multiverse and take out all the Avengers, yada, yada, yada. But Jason Aaron has set up little things that are going to move the plot forward, and I'm assuming is the massive idea, right? Because we don't get any revelation about Avenger Prime in this. Somehow, for some reason, the Ghost Rider, what's the name of the kid? Reyes, I believe, or I can't remember the name of the Ghost Rider that drives the car, but apparently he is the central figure to saving everything, which I know you're not all about. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I don't really care. I'm more about this Avenger Prime and how they're going to defeat such a massive Avenger-worthy foe, right? And then the big revelation for this was, outside of the Thor thing, is Deathlock has now merged his consciousness with the Celestial base.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. That's the ramifications of, or I think that's where we'll see the tie-in to Judgment Day.
Judgment Day.
I don't think Judgment Day is going to really deal with anything multiverse, because we've got enough going on with all three groups. But I think we'll see I don't see how we could possibly not have mention of Deathlock being in the consciousness of the Celestial.
I think he's going to get in the way of the Celestials, and that's outside of the mutants being threatened. That's going to be another thing that sucks in the Avengers to stop the Eternals. Okay, let's talk about the part of the book that I'm right there with you. I'm like, what are we doing? You know, is this a Jason Aaron idea? Is this a Dan Slott idea? Or is this a Donny Cates idea? Which is essentially Thor has awakened his Phoenix powers in this book.
Jason Aaron's the only one that's written about that.
Okay.
So it's
a Jason Aaron idea.
Jason Aaron thing.
So is Jason Aaron and Donny Cates are they comparing notes? Because you told me that someone asked on Twitter that this was going to be addressed in Donny Cates' Thor run.
That's what Donnie said. I think he actually said something about it recently too, like y'all need to chill or like something basically to that effect.
Right.
But I think Donnie will probably have the last word. He's writing the Thor book, so I think he'll probably have the last word for now. But
like last word, like he's going to correct it, or last word that he's just going to keep it going.
He's gonna be the last one to address it between the two of them.
Okay, well that makes sense.
So,
essentially, he wakes up. He's able to tap into the Phoenix Force, and I guess, what's her name? What's the Phoenix currently?
Echo?
Echo is like his stepmom. Guess she's got the spirit in her. It was really weird. Like I'm with you. I'm like, why are we still talking about this? What? I mean, it's clearly important to Aaron, but like, just fucking tell us already. You know, we had the whole Phoenix Force fight and the revelation. Just get to it. Like, I don't care. But if you want to talk about it, just flush it out in an arc. But don't stretch it and just kind of weave it through. I don't care. It's not that enticing. You know what I mean? And the only other... I liked this book. I thought it was good. I was like, all right, I'm ready for more. But what's disappointing is we're moving on to the next arc, right? So I don't feel like we got any closure. But
I don't think he wanted you to have closure. That's the hook, right? He wants you to come back for the next arc that deals with.
But But the next arc sounds like it sounds dumb. But
I agree.
But maybe there is ramifications from this last arc in that one, because we are getting a Heroes Reborn kind of like reintroduction, which I didn't really enjoy, but that does deal with multiverse shit. It deals with Mephisto and him trying to just mess up everybody's, plan, especially the Avengers. So maybe there will be a tie-in, and maybe that covers a red herring. Maybe this arc isn't really finished, and we're just being told that. It remains to be seen. I enjoyed it, but I'm kind of like, come on, man! Like, you got us pumped. I'm still pumped about it, and then it's just kind of like, and we're gonna go over here for a little bit. I don't know. I want to stay focused. You have Avengers Forever going on right now. Keep it going, and maybe I'll be eating my words. Next month we'll get the issue 55, and maybe it'll be just fucking like it'll. Kids with chains. Kids love chains, I don't know. We'll see. So, before we get into Eternal, Stefan asks, do we know who is doing the artwork for Judgment Day? I don't know specifically. I'm sure you can look it up. All I know is the first cover is a Mark Brooks cover, and It was my wallpaper for a hot minute on my phone.
Oh, Valerio Sheedy.
Ooh.
I do remember that now. Valerio Sheedy.
Okay.
Been a fan of his since Empire, so
there we go.
Happy about that.
Eternals, The Heretic, issue number 1. Thanos got put in his place a little bit in this book.
A little bit, yeah.
like you don't know shit. Like you're lazy almost. You know?
Yeah. It was a little baffling to be sure, but I don't know if it was just me. It almost felt like we were trying too hard to make this guy badder than Thanos, but
Right.
I still enjoyed it. I still liked it.
No, it was a good issue. Here's my one. It's not an issue. It's an observation, right? So let's talk about the Eternals movie. What do the Eternals have to do in order to get to their ultimate goal in the movie?
What do they have to do?
They basically were told, or they were to eliminate all the deviants, right, in order for the population to thrive and get to a point where an eternal or is to be born, right? Celestial, sorry. In this book, the main baddie, I don't remember his name, he basically says that he's going against his programming and he wants to annihilate all the deviants.
Well, but see, that's the thing, is he doesn't go against his programming. He has just a very perverted interpretation of what that is.
Right. I'm just saying.
He basically, well, but I don't know. I guess
no, go for it. No, go ahead.
I think there's a difference between him being, he's not, because if he was going against his programming, he would be divergent. But
True.
He's just having a really fucked up interpretation of his meaning.
Right.
And
But I
so
guess
he's
when I'm
basically saying they're all only the only sacred life is eternal life.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Because in the way I read it, it was like more of like I felt like in the movie it was like must get rid of all deviants in order to achieve our goal, right? Mm-hmm. And in this book, outside of the whole like Eternals are the supreme beings, it was almost kind of the same. Like just get rid of the deviants; they're a fucking waste of time. So again, I guess the movie kind of plagued my reading a little bit. Not that I didn't like it. I was just like, well, this is not something new outside of what you just said, which is no. In his mind, Eternals are the supreme being. Nothing else matters.
Yeah, so that info page that's at the back, it literally says, he says, fundamentally, there is no necessary conflict between the principles and the existence of anything outside the machine. Eternal life is the only life. All other life is heresy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's literally somehow, screwing up the interpretation to mean that the only life that matters is that is of the machine.
Gotcha. The other thing that I really liked about this book was the machine literally being like, yeah, yeet, I'm out. I don't want to talk about this dude. This dude is sus. I'm gone. Like, that was the best.
Yeah, Kieran Gillen's fourth wall breaking narrator with the machine that he's created is one of the most clever parts of this book.
It almost makes me hope that Kieran Gillen at some point will write a Deadpool book, because that character does break the fourth wall so many times. But I know that's probably beneath him. But I would not mind, because he's done such a good job with the fourth wall breaking. I would love to see a Kieran Gillen Deadpool book. Slam, the amount of money I'm saving from not buying non-Jonathan Hickman X-Men books has given sight beyond sight. X Lives has zero purpose, and their the last issue just made that very apparent. X Deaths is cool, but it feels like X Office is rushing at making Moira the villain. I'm sure Hickman was writing. I totally agree.
I don't know that we need to go on an X tangent right now. Sorry. I don't know that
we should just do. Maybe we should do let us know in the chat and in the comments. Should we talk about the ramifications of Hickman not writing it anymore, and where we think the X Office is going, and are they going to fuck it up? All right, next up we have Dan Slott's one of like 3 tie-ins, one-shots, The Reckoning War, Trial of the Watcher, issue number 1. I had a really good time with this book. I didn't think I would after I heard the premise, but I was very impressed with this book.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. This is the same artist that did Defenders, Al Ewing.
Yeah,
And I want him. I want him on more cosmic books because I feel like his style is becoming synonymous with a little bit of a cosmic feel. So I like it.
Yeah, the coloring also was just. I mean, there's a full panel shot where there's just all these colors, just like a blast of colors, and it definitely, yeah, it 100% reminded me of Ewing's Defender run. What I liked about this book so much was you truly sensed the Watcher's fear and misjudgment in this book, right? He's like, I'm right. It doesn't matter what you show me, I'm right. And then he sees the potential future if he hadn't gotten involved, and like just this look of like, fuck, I really screwed up. Like I really did. Essentially, he gets punished for interfering so many times with this, hold on, give me a sec. He gets punished for for interfering so much. And essentially, he gets told that he has to infinitely watch outcomes of what it would have been like if he hadn't intervened. And the first time I think so, because he like when he gets done watching, he's like, all right, I'm done. And they're like, no, you keep watching.
Oh shit.
Like they keep him in the chair. He doesn't get to stop watching. So, with this comic, we see what the outcome would have been if he had not interfered when Galactus showed up, right? Mm-hmm. And what we get is the last second, everything's about to go bad. Reed Richards is able to figure it out because he's that fucking smart and is able to save the Earth. Now, there are some casualties. Invisible Woman has gone blind. Reed Richards' face is now a putty face, like Elephant Man.
Yes.
Yes.
Just
like he can't talk, like he's just jacked. I think the Thing makes it out alive, doesn't he? Like he doesn't really get too, he didn't get too jacked up. Human Torch is basically a raisin. Yeah. And who else? I think that's it. Everybody else is pretty much unscathed. And he essentially finds out that if he had not interfered, the Fantastic Four would have won. There would have been there would have been more casualties, but then they go on to essentially cure the world. And when I say that, I mean like every known problem that could ever exist gets fixed by the Fantastic Four. And so they're just this, heaven on earth, essentially. The Fantastic Four have figured it out. And so he comes to that realization, immense amount of pain. He wants to stop watching. His father's like, bitch, you're sitting in that chair forever.
Yeah. He does. He says, from now on, this is all you will ever see.
Oh. And I was like, damn, that's brutal. But then, his brothers and sisters are like, but yeah, the Reckoning, they're still like fucking shit up. What are we going to do?
Like he was wrong, but he was also right. So
right. And the Watcher's father is kind of like, they'll figure it out. Like we can't do anything. And it's kind of like, well, yeah, but the reason why the Reckoning are so, 100 is because they're using y'all's technology. Like something has to happen. So we'll see. This was essentially my Marvel pick of the week. It's not going to get the button push, but I enjoyed it because essentially it was a disguised what if issue. Mm-hmm. And I think it's one that a lot of people would be interested in.
It was, but at the same time, we got a clear continuity answer to what would have happened if the Watcher hadn't interfered, and I think that's pretty intense. That's pretty cool, yeah. Yeah. So this was almost my pick of the week. Like, all right, it is my Marvel's pick of the week, but it's not enough to get the button push. But it was really good. Right. So, all right, let's jump over to DC with Detective Comics issue 1057. I liked it. Batman is, really showing that he was
severely needed. Because when he comes in, he's just like, well, what's the situation? Give me this, give me that. Bam, bam, bam. Bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. All right, team, go. And I think, I'm not saying the Bat family are not good detectives. I'm not saying they're not worth being in the pages of Detective Comics, but Batman really shows, like, what's up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't like this issue very much because of that.
Okay.
I think that we should have given. I feel like the Bat family hasn't been done justice in this book.
No, not at all.
I feel like it was like, okay, like, yeah, this isn't going 100%. This isn't going Batman level, but like, we're not Batman. Like, this is the Bat family. We're doing the best we can. This is a really big deal. We'll figure it out. And then all of a sudden he just comes in and is just like, okay, come on. And I'm like, really? Like,
well,
yeah.
they have to, I'm not saying this is right, but I mean, how many other channels were out there that were saying, like, Batman would have had this done in 3 issues or 2 issues? You know what I mean? Like, and it's almost like, it's kind of like we knew we were going in that direction all along. You can't, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that this is what they should have done. I'm just saying it kind of seems a bit like it was like inevitable.
It wasn't to me. It wasn't in my head like that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It honestly makes me worried about Tamaki writing more Bat characters. I wonder if but it looks like based off of solicits, after this is over, we're going back to the. Remember how we used to call this the Bruce Wayne book and the Batman book? It looks like we're kind of going back to that. So,
but is it going to be? Is it going to be as the only problem I have with that, and not that I didn't like the writing. I think the writing is good. I just wonder if this book is going to lose a little bit oomph. I feel like it has, because Morey's not on the art. Like, that was so compelling for me when we first started reading this book.
He was never consistently on it, though.
I know, and that's unfortunate, because it was really good. Like, I felt like Tamaki's writing and Morey's artwork, they just felt, it just was PB&J. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, it doesn't matter who you are in the world, peanut butter and jelly, as long as you're not allergic to peanut butter, is fucking good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. What's up, Jaden?
What up, Jaden? But we'll see. We got one more issue of this arc, and then we're on to finally getting Detective Comics once a month.
2 things.
Yes.
I would say that even though we are missing Dan Mora on the book, I would say this issue is the best art issue so far.
Okay.
I don't know what it was. This Cassandra Cain Batgirl panel was fucking fire.
Oh yeah, no. It had
really
definite
good.
Batgirls vibes.
And then the mayor's wife putting on
Medusa's mask.
The Medusa's mask panel. That's a really good page to me.
It is, but again, let's get back to the story of it all. What is this? So is she gonna be a villain now? Like, what's?
Nah.
Okay.
I don't think so, but maybe. But I don't think so. I actually don't think that would be a bad thing. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah. Slim says, I don't know how any of you felt, but I enjoyed Tinian on Batman for what it was. I didn't like the big arcs, but I enjoyed the Fear State Joker War quite a lot. But I think Snyder still wins on Joker, e.g. 52. We were both pretty big fans, as you can tell.
You could call me a Tinian stan.
We jumped in the middle, if not more towards the end of Tinian's Batman run, and I consistently liked the introduction of new characters. I know that a lot of people didn't like that. I thought that was really fun. I think that gave Batman a decent jolt of energy, I think. And for someone, I don't know about you, Nate, I don't want to speak for you, but I just felt like it was invigorating. Even though we weren't really reading DC, I was like, oh, I can get into this. Like, this is cool. Like, this is something new, and I enjoyed Tinian, and I was very upset when he announced that he wasn't writing it anymore. That being said, one of our favorite writers for us, in Chip Zdarsky is coming in May or in June, and yes, and Jorge Jimenez is still on the artwork. So
yes, I'm very excited
looking forward to that very much. Though I am a little concerned with Dark Crisis and what that means for the Batman book. So we'll see, but I'm sure it'll be awesome. But Detective Comics,
you know what I'm
good.
also not going to say for this issue?
The
backup wasn't the best part of this book this issue.
I think you and I believe Robbie said the same thing. He said it was a little off a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't feature our dude one time. He's not in one panel. It's like a little Batman and Red Hood aside. And I'm just like, nah.
I'm out.
That's not what we're doing here.
Gotcha.
So.
All right, well, let's talk about Nightwing, issue number 90.
I love this issue.
I thought it was a good issue.
It's cute.
Yeah. It's a little like it did feel a little kind of like, hey, I'm back from this crossover event, which is okay. But I liked the Flash not giving Grayson like any leeway. Like, you're coming with me.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
You're good. Everybody's after you, trying to kill you, so just shut up and let me help you. I thought this was a fun run, or a fun issue. But it didn't hit all of the check spot. It didn't check off all the boxes. Does that make sense? You disagree?
No, I don't even know if I disagree. I just think that
it felt. This is gonna sound very like punny. It felt rushed.
Because it's the Flash.
It's the Flash. No, but it kind of felt rushed in the sense that, like, we were just dealing with Superman and all of his problems, and like Grayson trying to be that role model, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, people are trying to kill me.
I think I understand what you're saying, and I think maybe Tom Taylor is trying to do a touch too much, and I don't blame him, and everything he's doing is fun, but it feels like because we were going from this main story of Nightwing to this little Superman thing to this Flash thing, but we're trying to also get back to the Nightwing thing, and
right.
It's like, okay, but I don't know, I also love it. The only thing I'm upset about is we didn't get Redondo on the art, which I'm not even gonna go down there today. I'm not even gonna talk about that today. But
now we're gonna get into it. No, I agree. I think it's a good assessment.
But I liked the relationship between Wally and Dick, so I thought it was a really cutesy issue for that reason.
I was hoping they'd have that callback where, I don't remember if it was him or who he did it to, but there was that, like, which way did you get here? Did you ride on his back, or did he hold you like bridal style? Remember that? Remember that joke?
Mm-hmm.
What was that in? It must have been one of the event books. I thought that was great. I was hoping we'd see that again, but we didn't. Red says, Snyder, everybody's Batman, but that's just me.
Yeah, look at this. I was gonna say.
Oh yeah.
You're talking about Snyder's run. I got these custom omnibuses.
Yeah.
Of Snyder's run with Capullo. This was before the Omnis came out, so it's like the actual issues bound, custom bound. I was gonna see if I can find a cover. But, yeah. So I know I'm on the Snyder run too, guys. Don't worry. But Tinian's run is a lot of fun. It's not nearly as long.
Paul says, I like Tinian's run on, or no, I'm sorry, I like Taylor's run on Nightwing, but I would like a Tinian type of focus on Nightwing of his rogue gallery. Yes, check mark. Slam.
Exactly what we were trying to say.
I love how Tinian understood the roles of Batman and rogues, like Scarecrow being the ultimate manipulator from start to finish. I think Joker War should have had more fallout, and I wish we had more punchline. I think a lot of people that were into that, I would agree with that.
Yes, I would agree with both of those things. I felt like Joker War should have. It very much did feel like Joker War happened, and then the next issue we were like, Joker War? Oh yeah.
That was back there. Yeah.
Back there. Cool.
Gotta hope Tom King never writes Batman again. I enjoyed most of his run up to the wedding. Then God, it just fell off the cliff. I didn't read any of Tom King's
I haven't read
Batman.
it yet. I have the first 2 oversized hardcovers. But
Okay.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to World's Finest Batman Superman, World's Finest, issue number 1.
That's Chips. Pick of the week.
I almost. I'm glad I didn't, just so that we can have 2 books, but I almost did too. And I didn't pull this book.
I know.
I just picked it up.
I told you you gotta pick it up.
Yep.
This was excuse my French, fucking fantastic. I loved this book. Obviously, more as on the artwork, so duh. But I feel like this book was made for us, Nate. Like,
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, you know who Superman is. You know who Batman is. You know the rogue gallery of villains. Let's go, right? Yep. And that's what it was. It was just like, let's go. I mean, this should be called Adrenaline. World's Finest. Turn it to 11, because it's just fast paced and it's not a detriment to the book. And I almost had that criticism because I thought about it, right? Like I read it and I was like, what? And then I really thought about it and I was like, did that book go too fast? But then when I read it, I was like, no, but every time I turned the page thinking it was over, it kept going and it kept going. And it's only a $3.99 issue, So I thought this book was really fun. To me, it's like the most extreme, like, setting. And we have, like, let us know in the chat if we're wrong, because we're not seasoned in this regard. I would assume we have a new villain or villains in this book, introducing the mess in this book. I thought it was great. I loved seeing the Doom Patrol. I loved seeing a reasonable, hey, this is who these people are when they showed up, because yes, like, not everybody knows who the Doom Patrol is, but I'm glad I didn't see this is Superman, aka Clark from Krypton. His planet blew up when he was a little baby. And this is Batman. His parents were, like, we didn't get that shit. We know who Superman, we know who Batman is, we knew who Robin is. You know what I'm saying?
I will never understand.
That's another video that's coming up. I'm going to scan the pages. I'm going to show you in every fucking issue of Justice League. I'm getting pissed. Every issue of Justice League that we picked up, every time the team was like, team pose, it was just like, this is Batman. This is Aquaman. This is Naomi. This is, I'm like, I know who they are.
It's not there to tell you who they are for new people. It's there just to, like, as an artistic style. You misunderstood what was happening.
No, it's dumb. Anyway, this book was fantastic. I'm pulling it. I'm not gonna go like, oh, wait until see issue number 2. I'm pulling it, and then if it loses its graces, then I will unpull it. But it has this issue was so good, I am automatically telling the store to pull it for me.
What? Someone that's maybe a little more seasoned in DC, what era Batman suit is this? What is this for? Is this
That's
a
good
cartoon?
question.
Is this the 90s? Because I fucking love this. Yellow emblem, yellow belt, blue cowl. I love it.
With
I
the
want to
gray?
know what it is with the gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, this honestly, it could have been my pick of the week. I think I just at the last minute went with another one, but was not on my radar at all. I actually was actively saying not picking this up. I think this is just going to be another random where you need to know too much, and I don't know, and I'm not ready for it. And then it was totally opposite of that. So
Let's get to chat. So Empire says, better late than never. Hey, Nate, good to see you again. Heart. Red, totally agree with the King Batman take. Slam, I actually enjoyed this a lot. I enjoyed this as much as a Batman/Superman book that was tied to finding the infected who laughs heroes. I loved that miniseries. You need to expand, please. I want to know. Stefan, damn, I have to go back and get a copy if it gets the FF rating. Yeah. That's all that matters. When this, like, when they write reviews and they do like hard copies and there's like a little sticker on the bottom that says this was 2 fat guys pull this, like, duh. This cover is badass. I agree. My favorite out of DC and Marvel. It was really good. I was impressed. And it takes a lot, because when a DC book makes, we're, if you couldn't tell, we're kind of Marvel. We started with Marvel, right? So that's just kind of where our base is at. So when a DC book cracks that, kudos, you know what I'm saying? Like, that really moved us, because it was all encompassing. It made a reader that may not know, is not as in tune to DC as some other people, to just like make you feel like you know what's going on.
Yeah, Mike, thank you. Neil Adams era. Of course it
Gotcha,
is.
cool. I never thought I would see Superman who laughs, but it's very interesting to see. Okay.
I've never heard of that. So
we need to check that out. Got some reading to do.
Okay.
Oh, do I remember it? Cool. All right, next up, we are jumping into our independence with Reign, issue number 3. Let me know. Uh-oh.
We kind of stumbled a little bit in this issue.
Okay.
We've got a lot of the same atmosphere from Zoe Thorogood's art, like just that sort of pencil-y, thin line sort of style. I still really like that. It makes this feel like a weird dystopic sort of scenario. But not a lot happens in this issue, and we're only 5 issues. I feel like we should be doing things, and I don't know. I guess I was expecting more. It felt a little shallow to me. Basically, so at the end of the previous issue, the little boy shows up and is like, I want to come with you, and I'm fine. And so they're like, well, you've already come too far. You got to go with us now. And so they go and start walking again, and they see a cop on the side of the road, and they're like gathering up bodies to drive them back into Denver to put them in an ice rink so that they can not decay. And the there's a couple officers there, and they're using inmates to gather the bodies. And one of the inmates puts the rain shards in his fingers like Wolverine and cuts the guy's throat.
Ooh.
And Holt takes our girl hostage and says, I hope you know how to drive a tractor. And so the teams basically split up. The guy and the little boy are left behind, and she's stuck with this murderous inmate trying to, making her drive. And he says something like, hope you I hope you like Canada or something like that. I'm just like, what? I don't know. I was expecting a little bit more
movement.
No, well, yes, either movement, either plot, or I guess character development, and I don't feel like we got much of either here.
Okay.
I don't feel like we really got to feel the anguish. It felt very shallow to me. It just felt like, she's dead and people got needled. And you're like, yep, I know. I'm already in it. It's not freaking me out anymore.
Yeah.
But we've already been doing this. That being said, I think that's a little bit of a harsh take on it, especially overall. Let's see where 4 and 5 goes, and it could just be maybe we just stumbled a little bit here. So,
okay.
I would say if you enjoyed the first 2 issues and are kind of hesitant with this one, then keep going. But
getting to chat, I like this one a lot too. Got the variant of this one. I didn't like the beginning how he just shows up. I thought they didn't see him in the last one. He was just behind them. I'm guessing that's the cop you're talking about.
No, the little boy.
Little boy, I got you.
Yeah. He was. It was kind of vague whether he was like with them or could see them up ahead.
Interesting. And then the variant cover for this one is really cool, but they only had cover A's in my store. I haven't seen it either. Yeah, the variant at Mad was a little rolled up, but it was the only one, so I was like, gotcha. Guess it's pretty cool, huh?
Let's see, cover B. Oh yeah, that's nice. I'm assuming the B. It's what's his name? I want to Templeton. It's him sliding down on the umbrella with spikes in it. It looks
shit.
way more happy-go-lucky than it should.
All right, our next book is The Silver Coin, issue number 10, art and writing by Michael Walsh.
That's Nate's Pick of the Week.
Very good. Yeah, this one was almost. I mean, it was. If we were had been allowed to do a Marvel, DC, independent, this would have been my independent pick of the week. I only had one independent, but that doesn't matter. This was a fucking good book.
Yes, this to me, it hit a lot of really classic horror elements to me. I felt like I was kind of watching like a 80s slasher kind of film a little bit. But I also like how much plot we were getting in this too. It wasn't, obviously Michael Walsh has been doing this when it gets to his solo issue. He really kind of ties the previous four together. And we see that again here where we see is it just me, or did I just assume that the woman that's trapped in the coin is the woman from the
Colonial Days? Yes.
The Colonial Days?
That's so right. I think there's two spirits in the coin. So there's her, who, she's just trapped there. She can't do shit. And then there's the demon or whatever that she brought forth in that issue. Yeah. Let me just say this, and then I'll let you keep going. I'm digging this idea because it's an anthology story, right? Because every writer has their own, what they want to say and talk about. But I am really digging Walsh coming in and saying, all right, and this is how it all connects. I'm building more mythos behind this idea. And to me, all that screams is, well, when is Netflix or Hulu or whatever going to pick this up and make it a fucking awesome show? Because it's just got aspects of everything that is so badass, and that's really a tribute to all the killer writers that are coming in, coming in and telling their stories. And to kind of jump to the back, the next run, the next arc, if you will, volume 3, we're getting Tinian, we're getting Tiny Onion. Fuck yes, please. Let's go. But I did like, the spirit coming forth. I guess what I liked about it was there was an aspect of hope, which we don't really see in this book, right? Which I'm not saying I want to see in every book, but to see a little glimmer of it in this book, I thought was really cool. To see that woman is repentful in what she's done, and that she's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I gotta figure out how to destroy this thing. And it, ends up not really working, but kind of does. And it's cool. I like it.
I enjoyed it a lot, and I liked that our little as good as it gets sort of moment at the end happened with this particular character, like this stoner, random loner teenage chick, kind of being the one that was just fucking paying attention to everything. I like that as well. And you said to you, this didn't really mean much, but to me, what set this issue over the top and for sure made me choose it as my pick of the week was the 2-page prose Adita Bidikar short story added in the back, or a short story of sorts. It's very epistolary, where it's just a story told through an interview, basically. That just, I don't know, for whatever reason, it just, when we get parts like this, it makes this universe, this Silver Coin, area just feel so much more real. And it was basically an interview between two cops, where one cop was involved with his partner or someone that he worked with being involved in the Silver Coin, thinking his brother was getting taken, and then he ends up killing a bunch of kids that were just kind of goofing around on the dark web. And the guy ends up slaughtering these kids because he thinks they're trying to take the coin from him or something. Right. It's a little out there, and a little, it does feel very in medias res, very wait, this isn't the beginning. Where did we start here? I don't know. I really liked it. I thought it was the best part. I think it's really cool that Michael Walsh gave Adita a chance to do some prose as well. Because Adita's done a lot of really fun lettering through all kinds of comics that we've been reading this past couple of years. But seeing him get to do a little prose piece and contribute, I thought that was really cool.
Getting the chat. Patty's late. It's okay, bro. We got you. We got you, boo. Patty says Silver Coin has been the best in my opinion, and has won my pick of the week a lot. No, you would agree with that. Jaden says I feel like Netflix would, if they picked it up, would find a way to ruin it. I kind of agree with that. Maybe it should be HBO. But then Patty says, well, let's just give it to Disney. And then Empire comes in and says, I don't know. Netflix has got some good horror on it. I'm not.
James wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know because I'm not really.
I wouldn't either. I'm just getting back into it. But
it's I'm out of the realm. This is out of my realm, but I'm still reading it. Like this is definitely like Nate, like putting this in my face and be like, fucking read it. And it's good, but it's still.
Well, I think Chip Zdarsky being on issue number 1 helped too.
Yeah. But the biggest thing for me is I read this book first when I get home because I don't want to read it when it's dark outside. Just no bueno, man. I got a 2-story house. It's creepy. Doors creak.
All right, Stefan, you're up.
Stefan, are you in the building?
Your review of this book. I don't know what the fuck is happening. Like I don't know if it was me. I don't know if it's the month in between where I just am forgetting what is going on. But every single time I turned the page, we would be in a different part of this carnival and something would be happening that I had no fucking idea. Kids getting their ears ripped off by people biting, Mike Tysoning their ears off. This guy thinking that he's fighting the weird strangers, but instead he was fighting a bunch of kids in a, you stack one kid on top of the next sort of parlor trick.
What are you talking about?
One kid gets drowned upside down in one of those machines where you throw the ball and it's supposed to dunk them.
Yeah.
Well, this is reverse where you're supposed to throw the ball and hit it and it'll pull him up, but he ends up drowning. I'm so confused. And see, the thing is, I think it's because I've been confused the whole time as well. That I don't really understand. I feel like this is a Wes Anderson film that I'm not high enough to get. Or I don't know, maybe.
No. I understand what you're saying.
I don't want to say it's a bad issue because I respect these guys and I know they do good work. I also respect Stefan's opinions, and he's saying it's his pick of the week makes me just go, it was me, but I don't know what it is.
It was you.
I don't know.
Yeah. So Stefan says this issue is like issue 4, part 2. Empire says this title is so damn weird, but I can't stop reading it. The coloring is amazing in it. First, Keith Slabbit. What is that? Is that a character that?
He's the one that fights for one of the girls in our group, but I don't remember why they're fighting or why she calls him the wrong name, and he's like, I don't know. She's like, thanks for fighting for me, Dave. He's like, it's Keith. And she's like, whatever.
Fuck you.
Also,
I want to get
the glows in the dark. Apparently, he looks like Geiger.
Oh.
And I was like, is this real or is he in a suit? And I don't know if we'll ever know. I don't know. He's probably for real, but at one point they're like, yeah, the glowing kid. And they're like, who? And then there's just this kid that glows, and that's it.
It sounds like, maybe you should have been a little higher when you read this. You might have gotten it better.
I was 0 high when I read this, so maybe that was my problem.
0 high. So where was it? There was another comment that I was like, oh, again, Slam said earlier, the weirdest thing, I was so hyped for Teen Titans Academy, then it turned out to be trash. Strange Academy is everything I wanted Titans to be, plus Roberto Ramos on the art is amazing. I have been saying that about Titans Academy. I jumped off issue 5 or 6.
I jumped off issue 1.
Issue 1, yeah. And I just was like, this has got to be good. And then I just no, it's bad. And now it's canceled. And Strange Academy is getting an arc 2 or semester 2. So yeah, it's looked like pretty on point with that assessment. Sam also says, who's ready for the midway point of DC versus vampires? I jumped off the book.
Oh, did you?
I did. I didn't even pick up it last time. I think it's going to be a collected for me. I was looking at my pool in Slam. You know, I don't know if you've heard this, but I'm not a massive vampire in my comics. You know, Blade is probably where I'm kind of like, you know, you can come in for a little bit. You know, I like Blade as a character. I'm just not big into vampires in my comics. I did genuinely enjoy, I think up to issue 4, I think I got to on vampires. But I jumped off. I know. Really what it was is I was looking at my pool and going, where can I cut some fat? Just a little bit, just so I can anticipate the summer, because I know we're going to get a lot of books this summer. So I was just like, where can I, you know, and some Marvel issues too. Some Marvel books have been cut that I have been a big advocate for that I'm not going to be reading until they come out in trade. So it just happens sometimes. You know, you're getting into that mode of spring cleaning. You know what I'm saying? I can understand if you dropped Dark Knights of Metal. I actually went through with that one, and I probably shouldn't have. But I will say I do genuinely want to read DC versus Vampires, but it'll have to be in the collected or like a hardcover or a trade. Just because we've got a lot coming down the pipeline, and so I just had to kind of free up some space, because there's some other books again that I've dropped that are like Marvel. Like I got rid of Silk, which I freaking love Silk. I'm not reading it. But there's a lot. But DC versus Vampires feels so refreshing. I think it comes from my love of Deceased. See, we haven't read that yet, and we need to. We really do. We got to do our homework. We need to read that. I've only heard amazing things about that. So, all right. Well, that was what's the furthest place from here. So I'm assuming you will continue.
I think one more issue before they do a short break, and so I'll probably use the break to figure it out.
Reassess. Got it. All right, well, that's going to do that. It's going to do it for issue 81, episode 81.
Yeah. No,
I like issue. All right, okay, issue. Issue 81 of Two Fat Guys Pull Us here live on YouTube. If you're here live and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell, give us a like. And if you're watching this as a previous episode and you haven't already subscribed, do it, man. We're trying to get to 650, and with the ultimate goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2022. I know we can make it happen, guys. Let's get it going. If you've got friends that aren't currently watching and you're like, hey, check these guys out, make sure they hit that sub button and get on the Two Fat Guys Pull List train, because we want to see everybody here enjoying our content. And obviously we can't do it without you. We could be two guys talking about comics live on YouTube to nobody, and we would be doing it, but man, it's so much more fun when the community is growing and we're able to show and share our love for comics and really just nerd out with everybody. I'm digging it. And to be able to push the idea that we need to read more comics. That's our main hashtag. We put it in every post. So again, guys, we will see you this Wednesday for New Comic Book Day. Again, it's a pretty slim reading order pull list, but we got some good ones in there. So that'll be fun. And be ready for June Marvel solicitations. We have those. I have to edit that. So that'll be coming in soon. And then I think we're talking about potentially doing the DC, just because there's some potential stuff in there that we might want to talk about. So be on the lookout for that, guys. And as always, read more comics, and we will catch you guys in the next one. I forgot that I have to hit this button. I'm like, where's my button to push? Anyways, we'll see y'all. Wait, what? Someone said something that made you laugh. Where was that? He said, was it Michael?
No. Made me laugh. Oh no, Patty said, I smoke a lot of weed since Canada made it legal, so I'll try this book high. Hopefully that's the proper one. Thank you, Patty, taking one for the team.
Gotcha. All right, guys, we will see you in the next one. OMG, I'm so excited for June. Wait, I can do this while we're doing the outro, because we've got our mics.
Also,
bye, guys. Go ahead.
Michael said Rad Wraith from Black Caravan was his pick of the week. And Black Caravan's that scout, like they're adults. I think it's usually horror.
Okay.
Imprint. So I might have to check that out. All right, guys, let's go. Fun Two Fat Guys ad on Times Square billboard. Yeah, there we go. We're going to do it. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one, and everybody stay safe out there, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Yeah, we got to read this.